Before we start off Room Tour Project, I gotta remind you guys, it is the last few days to pick up the Random Frank P and Novel Keys Topographic Desk Pad. This is available until December 31st if you want to get in on that last pre-order extension. So I'll put a link for you in the description down below. Don't miss out. But what's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P, back with episode 199 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best setups to give you some ideas and inspirations for your own setup. And speaking of best, since it's going to be the last episode of 2019, this is going to be the best of 2019. Going through and showing you guys my favorite ones that I thought were just insane from the past year. So what I'll do is I will try to put all the specs in the description for you guys, but what I'll most likely end up doing is also putting the episode that that setup was featured in. So you can go back if you want to find out more about it and see all the detailed specs. Go to that episode, it'll all be down there for you. So yeah, let's start it off, episode 199. This episode of Room Tour Project is brought to you by the Corsair Virtuoso RGB wireless gaming headset. Available in black or white, you can cut the cord, go wireless, and take advantage of their slipstream technology for better battery life, a better microphone, and an interference-free connection. This was also included in my top 5 gaming headsets of 2019 video. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link for you in the description down below. So first up, we have Justin B from episode 171. And what I'll do is I'll pretty much just go in order from the episodes. So starting, a few months back here from 171. So you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled because it's not going in like best of the best order. They're going to be scattered. But Justin here definitely has one of the more clean, minimal approaches to a setup. And I love how really just clean it is. Like, this is very, very minimal with a great touch all around. So for his display, it is a 25-inch monitor from LG mounted nicely to the wall to give it that seamless floating appearance, with a custom painted white chin on the bottom there to again just fit into the aesthetic overall. And I really like that either glass or acrylic backboard he has against the wall there to break it up a bit and give it some nice color. And then as you can see, he has things like his headphones mounted. And speaking of which, we have the Corsair HS50 headset and the Beats Studio 3 wireless. But for the rest of his peripherals, he has Logitech MX Master Mouse with the Logitech K810 wireless keyboard, so both wireless peripherals there, with a white Go Groove Sonoverse soundbar. Digging that organizer tray as well. Now over to the PC, this is the Deepcool Dukas case, and inside he has a Ryzen 7 1700X CPU with a Corsair H100i AIO. Got 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LED RAM on an Asus Prime X470 Pro motherboard with an MSI RX 570 Armor graphics card. So again, a black and white, very clean build fitting in with the entire setup. And then across the room, a really nice entertainment center. And yes, that is floating. It's mounted against the wall, but a great spot to kick back on that massive TV, get some console gaming going on. You can see the PS4 Pro there. So a really nice spot to chill, but again, it's also fitting in aesthetically. That's the whole thing with this setup. Clean, minimal, black and white aesthetic with some pops of color around. I edited in the wallpaper. That's not his actual wallpaper. Something to match that sort of like powder blue acrylic backplate, the pops of green with the plants. Just Justin, really good job here. And like I said, I will try to put most of these specs in the gear down below, as well as the full episode to which the setup was featured on. Now we've got A8X from episode 175. This one kind of sticks out right away. It's pretty apparent why this makes the list. Not only is there a ton of RGB going on in just the RGB light strips, the nano-leaf light panels, but literally embedded into the floor. This is a custom DIY job. It's acrylic, he has the RGB lights underneath, and then he can make the whole room just RGB, So for his main desk setup, he has 3 monitors, although you can only see 2 right now. He's a 32-inch BenQ as a primary, and the 27-inch Asus ROG Swift as the mounted display on the left side. And if you're asking where is that third display, well, it's actually right next to his peripherals, being the Logitech G513 and the G502 Hero mouse from Logitech, but the display he has built into the desk for like a monitoring display pretty much. This is actually more common than you might think, and we've seen this in a lot of setups over the years, so a pretty cool and interesting little integration into the setup. Now for his PC, it is pretty much all Gigabyte. It's the Aorus C300 RGB case. Inside's an Intel i9 9900K CPU with the NZXT Kraken X62 AIO. For the RAM, we have 32 gigs of the Gigabyte Aorus RGB RAM. And you guessed it, Gigabyte Aorus Z390 Pro motherboard with a Gigabyte Aorus RTX 2080 Extreme graphics card. So an entire Aorus build here. And as you can see in the room, a bunch of collector's figures and stuff, a really cool display case with the lights, just to bring that whole gaming vibe to life. And then another really cool entertainment center, massive 65-inch Samsung Curved TV, all the consoles, the speaker setup. But I think, as you guys see, the thing that really sets this apart from your traditional gaming setup in a gaming room is just the integration of all that RGB. The DIY RGB floor is just really cool. Custom effects, he can have it all syncing. So if he wants to do this, like, campfire kind of cozy theme for the holidays, he can pull it off. So A8X episode 175, definitely one to remember, that's for sure. Moving right along to episode 178 is Simon PG. Another really cool DIY job to make his ceiling seem like it's this Starry Night galaxy effect. And this is all, like I said, completely DIY. He did this himself, and you can see with his wallpapers, you got the planets and stuff. And it is really cool to have this like galaxy-like effect going on. A++ for execution. Now for the triple monitor seamless floating display, really good job on mounting those as well. All three of them are the Asus PG278QR, one of their popular gaming displays. And that'll lead us right into the peripherals. For audio, you can see down there, his speakers are the Logitech G560 LightSync, along with the Ducky 1.2 Mini RGB keyboard on the Razer Goliathus Chroma Extended mousepad, with Logitech G Pro wireless mouse, and also for his headset, not really shown here, the Astro A40 TR. But all RGB peripherals fitting in with the RGB light strip as you saw underneath his desk, and that's what's up. Now over to the PC. You guys guessed it, it's probably gonna be awesome, and of course it is. It's the Corsair Obsidian 500D RGB case, nice tempered glass side window there. Inside is a Ryzen 7 1700 CPU with the Corsair H100i V2 AIO, 16 gigs of G.Skill Trident Z RGB RAM on an MSI X370 Gaming Pro Carbon motherboard, with the Asus ROG Strix GTX 1080 Ti graphics card. But he's got his own Red Bull mini fridge off to the side of the setup with integrated RGB light strips. I know this is one thing I need. The channel runs off of coffee and Red Bull. I don't know why I said coffee weird. I said it like coffee. But yeah, I need some of that. And then next to the setup, a mounted TV up on the left side. It is altogether just a really, really cool room, highlighted by the galaxy star light effect he has going on that he did DIY built above his setup. So Simon PG, episode 178, killer. And then I hope you guys got your popcorn ready, because this is where it gets really, really interesting. Pirate Gamer from Room Tour Project episode 186, with perhaps one of the craziest gaming setups of all time. Dare I say, you see this. You see what's happening right now on your screen. If you remember this episode, then you remember it was no contest. This hands down stole the show and is just probably one of the best setups of 2019 and possibly maybe ever. So Pirate Gamer, it is just very apparent here that he's got all the gear, all the RGB, everything to make an insane gaming room, a gaming getaway, a gaming paradise. All right, I'll just stop drooling and we'll get into the actual specs and all the gear. So everything here is mounted for his displays with the RGB lights integrated behind the backboard, in the desk, and the Nano 4 light panels everywhere. But his three bottom displays are the Asus ROG 27-inch, with the mounted overhead being the 34-inch from Asus, the PG34-8Q. So pretty much top of the line, monitors from Asus. And such a good mounting job with that backboard there. It looks really, really clean. For his peripherals, you have the Razer Huntsman Elite with the Razer Mamba mouse, as well as the Glorious Model O, so he can switch it up whenever he wants. And then for audio, the Audio Engine A5 Plus speakers you can see, along with the Astro A50 headset. But how about that RGB desk where it's like a frosted acrylic and you can see it like just smoothly shining through? Crazy stuff. And as you can tell by now, I'm not really going in order to the pictures that are on the screen because there were like 50 pictures and I didn't want to exclude any of them. So I'm just going to read off the gear and the specs as I've been doing. And you guys can just, continue to drool over this crazy, crazy room. But his PC underneath the desk, which he has mounted literally inside, it's the Lian Li 011 dynamic case, and he has an i9 9900K CPU with the NZXT Kraken X72 AIO, 32 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM, and the Asus ROG Strix GTX 1080 Ti graphics card. All RGB fans, RGB light strips inside, making it all just colorful and pop and flow. And speaking of pop, all the pop figures on this collectible shelf here, every one you can probably think of is somewhere in this room. And that's one of the really cool things that stands out about this, is all the collector's items he has. Odds are, if it exists, he probably has it here in this room. And then across the room, he also has, obviously an entertainment center. Kick back and do some additional console gaming on here. Really nicely integrated into the shelves, all the controllers, the custom consoles, even all those collector's consoles. It's one thing to have a crazy room, but it's one thing to pull it off efficiently while not seeming like scattered or cluttered. Like every piece, every collector's item has its own spot and it's not like messy. You know what I'm saying? So just a really insane job here from Pirate Gamer to pull off one of the most insane, versatile gamers paradises I've ever seen, from the PC gaming, the console gaming, the everything gaming here. And the show goes on with CGSTERK from episode 188. This one does a good job of using those LifeX beams that are like those, they're not strips, but they're like those plastic tubes of the RGB lights, and having them integrated around the room kind of like frames the setup itself, which I think looks pretty cool. So there are 3 displays here. The primary is an LG 34-inch ultrawide. The overhead is a 43-inch Acer 4K monitor, and the vertical monitor on the left is an Asus 25-inch display. And then down to the peripherals, we have the Razer Black Widow Elite keyboard with the Razer Mamba Elite mouse and a nice extended mouse pad there. And then for his audio game, we have the AKG K702 headphones, and the speakers are the Kanto YU4, looking really nice, with a kind of a white theme going on as well, which leads us then into that PC. This is the Be Quiet Dark Base 700 case in white, and inside's an Intel i9 7900X CPU, with the Corsair H115i Pro RGB AIO, 64 gigs of Ballistic Sport RAM on an ASRock X299 Tachi motherboard, with the Asus ROG Strix RTX 2080 Ti graphics card. And I'm really digging these Star Wars figures he has, not only in this setup, but also kind of integrated into the PC. Usually it's cheesy, but here I think it fits in, and just the figures he has all around, like literally matches his wallpaper, which is really cool. So you can call it a Star Wars setup if you want, but it's more so like a futuristic kind of thing. Something about those LifeX beams really just make it kind of different from just a regular RGB strip, which makes the setup as a whole stand out more. So GG CGSTERK. If you're still watching at this point, comment what you ate for breakfast. Wrong answers only. So winding on down from episode 194, we have KaiJay. And I absolutely love how natural this setup looks. Obviously, with the walnut everywhere from the entertainment center, the walnut desk, and that massive backboard for the setup. I believe it's like a butcher's block, I'd assume. And just having that mounted there so we could mount his monitors to that instead of the wall is a really good idea, and it makes it look really cool. So his primary display is an Alienware 34-inch monitor, with the overhead mounted being a 24-inch Dell display. And also mounted are his speakers, the Fluence SX6. Now we're going to check out those peripherals, a really nice white, black, and kind of teal theme going on. That is a custom XD84 keyboard with the Model O mouse in white, a nice extended mouse pad. And then also for audio there, you can see the JDS Labs Element, which are powering the Sennheiser HD6XX headphones. But I love the custom job on the keyboard. In the back, you can also see the Elgato Stream Deck and stuff. Good job on matching the peripherals to the overall color theme as well. And then behind that pretty fancy schmancy lamp is the really nice NZXT H200i case. I love a little ITX builds like this. This one's super clean. Inside an Intel i7 7700K CPU with the Noctua NHD 15S cooler, also with the Chromax cover and fan covers there to make it fit into the black and white theme. We got 16 gigs of G.Skill Trident Z RGB RAM and the RTX 2080 Ti Founders Edition with the NZXT G12 GPU cooler there. So definitely a nice ITX build. And check this out. At nighttime, how chill is that? The warm lighting from the lamp, the cool lighting from the RGB, from behind that backboard, behind the TV. It makes everything pop and stand out. And then you can switch it up again. Nice and purple, sunset theme. Relax, chill, natural. I love everything about this KaiJay. Massive high fives. And then last but definitely not least, we have Bianca from episode 197. So very recently, this was on a clean and minimal edition, and I think one of the more underrated fan favorites. When everyone saw this setup was just flooded in the comments. Everyone was drooling over it, and rightfully so, because this is pulled off beautifully. So really good job, Bianca. For the display, it's a single 27-inch Dell monitor, 144 Hz. And I love the use of the Nanoleaf Aurora light panels behind the display to give it that extra color and some backglow. A really unique and a really cool use of that. For the peripherals, you got the Ducky 1-2 mini keyboard with the Logitech G305 wireless mouse and a Zowie Divina blue mousepad. And I love how the peripherals, even in the daytime without the RGB glowing, still match the overall color theme of the rest of the setup, which is really, really nice. And then for audio, we have the Cantu YU2 speakers, as well as the SteelSeries Arctis 5 headset. And then over to the PC, inside the NZXT H500 case, we have an Intel i5 9600K CPU with the NZXT Kraken M22 AIO, 16 gigs of G.Skill Trident Z RGB RAM, on the MSI Z390 Gaming Edge motherboard with the Asus Cerberus GTX 1070 Ti graphics card with some RGB fans, the NZXT Hue 2 RGB light kit inside to change up the colors, match it all, white braided cables, white custom backplate. That's how you match a PC. One thing I really like is the custom print she has. Really nice coloring with the Godzilla, the Gyarados, and even a custom print of the color of her wall, the moon dust there. Having that sort of like Pantone card, I think is a genius idea. I haven't seen that done before, although I'm sure it has been done. It's just everything here I think is pulled off perfectly. It's clean, it's minimal, but all at the same time integrating RGB, but still staying minimal. It's a thing of wonders. It doesn't have to have 5 displays and a bunch of stuff going on. It is perfect, and it is honestly one of my favorites of the year, no doubt. Alright guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 199 of Room Tour Project. Hope you enjoyed this best of the best episode of 2019 and the last one of the year. What a year it's been. Don't forget, I'll have them all listed for you in the description down below in case you want to check out those setups and their episode that they were featured in. And also, last few days to check out the randomfrankp and Navalkeys topographic desk pad. Yeah, what else do I say from there? I don't know. It's been a hell of a year. Thank you all so much. This series is hopefully going to keep growing and growing. Although the last few months, submission numbers have been down a lot. But now that I'm hoping that since the holidays are here and over, people got new gear, people got new hardware, people got some money so they can upgrade their setups. So hopefully 2020 will be a hell of a year for setups. All right, let's just wrap this one up. I'm randomfrankp. Hope you enjoyed, and happy 2020.